It's time with JMU Hall of Famer Delvin Joyce.
Joyce breaks a tackle and goes in for a touchdown. Another spectacular run by Delvin Joyce.
Alongside one of the best signal callers in JMU history.
Thad Lee, he's got plenty of room across the 50 to the 40. He should make it all the way to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, James Madison University.
Together, the duo bring their unique perspective to the podcast, breaking down all the things they're seeing about JMU football. This is To the House. Now, here's Delvin Joyce with Vad Lee.
What's up, JMU Nation? Welcome to another episode of To the House. I am your host, Delvin Joyce, the People's Choice. I am joined by future Hall of Famer Vad Lee, live from travels in a hotel room. What's up, Vad?
What up, bro? What up? Hopefully my Wi-Fi is good. Hopefully we're good to go. I know you made the trip to Conway, South Carolina, so I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah, man, I made the trip to Conway. And you know what, man? I got to say that I don't know how you feel about Coastal. I know we have a lot of fans who absolutely hate Coastal. I don't really have that beef with Coastal. I don't know what it is, man. There's so much like JMU hate and vitriol for Coastal. In fact, I guess this is technically our rival week game, which, I mean, we got to figure out a way to get either App State or ODU in this last game of the season slot because the Coastal Carolina rivalry is just not working out for Coastal.
No doubt. No doubt.
Do you hate Coastal?
No, not at all. In fact, one of like my big bros is the head strength coach there. His name is Quinn Barham. He comes from Hillside High School out of Durham, North Carolina. And man, really solid dude, right? Really solid dude. Also, Coastal Carolina brought me in to speak to their entire athletic program a couple years ago. So I got nothing but love, nothing but respect for Coastal Carolina.
Same here, man. I mean, I think they have a nice stadium, by the way. I think it's a great college football, setting. I'm not going to say atmosphere because I'm going to talk about the atmosphere in a second.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But the setting is nice. And by the way, their fans were like super gracious to me personally. As I was in the stadium, I had so many people walk up and say, congrats on a great season. People were leaving the game at halftime, right? And they were walking by me saying, good luck next week in the Sunbelt Championship game. This one lady was like, we already know how this game's going to go. She was like, at this point, we're rooting for the Sunbelt. So we hope you guys get the playoff spot, which I thought was fantastic. Right? Yeah. So no beef with Coastal. The only beef that I had, man, was the in-game theatrics at this game were like over the top, Vad. Like it was maybe the most annoying football away game I've ever been to. And here's why. So the beginning of the game, they got like motorcycles on the field, right? And all right, that's cool, whatever. Then they shoot this like green smoke into the air, like this teal smoke. So instead of like pyrotechnics, they're shooting green smoke. And dude, when I tell you that smoke like floated over into our section, my entire family is gagging and coughing on this green. They let off smoke bombs in the stadium.
Wow.
and then my final beef. I'm gonna stop complaining because there was something about this setting that was elite. But the last thing, bro, they kept turning the lights on and off. I mean, like I get the strobe lights when you score a touchdown, but you scored 10 points. But those lights were off. I'm going to say 25-30% of the game. It was annoying.
Hey man, they got to use them, right? They expected to use them. About at some point, a coach went into the AD's office or somebody went into the AD's office and said, "Hey, we have to raise this amount of money to get these cool lights for when we score points. Our recruits and the atmosphere and everything will be great." They got to justify why they got those lights, and so they're going to use them whether they score 10 points or not.
It was brutal. At one point, I was like, can y'all just turn the lights on? Let's play football. Like, what are we doing here? I watched the game back on the broadcast, and like there were several times where, the broadcast team is in the booth and the lights are off in the background. The one kid, after he scores the touchdown, they turn the lights off. The camera's trying to show the kid on the sideline. You can't even see him because it's dark in the stadium. I was just like, this was whack. But I will say, I was looking forward to the unlimited concessions. And sometimes when you hear something like that, it kind of feels like a bait and switch. Like, is it
No doubt.
really going to be
Talk
free?
to me.
Bro, it was legit, man. It was legit.
What?
Yeah, it was legit. I mean,
So explain this to us, because is the ticket price just jacked up to kind of, or is the ticket price normal and then you just go in there and get free concession? Was the lines long? I need to know all of that.
no, well, the lines weren't long because there weren't that many people there, right?
Okay, okay.
So I could imagine, like, if they had a better season going and the stadium was packed, that could have been a problem. But my ticket was, I think we paid $48 times 6. So we got 6 tickets, $48. And when I tell you, my kids ate $50 worth of concessions each. So the game was free.
Wow.
Hey,
Okay.
by the way, they did that in the first half because my kids, bro, it was so cold. My kids were like, we can't do this, man. So they walked to the car at halftime, missed the second half of the game. But I say all that to say the concessions were legit. And you know what else was legit? That the performance of this team. And, you could tell from the start of the game. I don't know your perspective, but from the start of the game, you could tell that this was going to be a beatdown. Like, it felt like it was going to be a beatdown. The question was, how much of a beatdown would it actually be? Right. So we get off to the quick start, 20-3 before you know it. Coastal makes a little run before halftime. But what did you think about the way the team started?
Yeah, man, I thought it was an amazing, phenomenal start. Right, you go, I think three and outs, or right then and there we get a sack on the first, first drive, and then Alonza. I thought Alonza just, I don't think we fully appreciate the awareness, the maturity, the 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 level of command that this quarterback has in this JMU offense. Of course, it takes time to get that. It takes trust. It takes making plays. It takes all of those things for for a coach and a quarterback and a team to finally like feel like, all right, this is your show.
Yeah.
Right. And, that first drive was pretty awesome because the first play of the game, it was a run play, a called run play, right? And most people just see a pass, but not realizing that that pass was on Alonza, right? It was a called run play. It was a zone read, but Alonza and the running back is to his left. It was a zone read. Most of the time, the quarterback, if the running back is on your left, most of the time the quarterback is also looking to the left, to the defensive end or whatever's going on the left side, because the running back is going across the quarterback to get the ball to run to the right side. Y'all following me?
Oh, yeah, I'm
All right.
following you.
So, but this time, because of what they've shown on film with the corner blitz and different things from the boundary side of the field, which means the short side of the field, Alonza is handing the ball off left, but he got his eyes behind him back to the right to see what that cornerback is doing. As soon as he saw that cornerback trigger, he pulled the ball, threw it over the cornerback's head. By the way, you still have to throw it over the cornerback's head. Even though he's coming, you still got to make a good enough to throw it over his head, but at the same time, make the ball fall before the safety gets there.
Yeah.
And so that was literally the first play of the game. And as a quarterback, like, I get excited about those type of things because that's a called run play.
Yeah.
However, because you are skilled and because you're in control and you know what's going on the field, you're able to adjust, and now it becomes a numbers game. We got more people than you, because what they're trying to do, the reason why they're trying to bring that cornerback in is because they're trying to stop Wayne Knight. They're trying to stop, our run game, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to bring an extra man as soon as the ball snapped so I can get an extra defender. But Alonza burned him. I think he ended up catching the ball for about 13, 14-yard reception. And then I think it was maybe smoke. A couple plays later, one of the receivers wasn't lined up on the line of scrimmage, which could have been a penalty.
Yeah.
And I see Alonza like, bro, go up. You got to get on the line. And so and then he ended up the drive with scoring a rushing touchdown. So I just wanted to give the flowers to the quarterback position at JMU because there's a level of maturity, a level of authority that's happening under center.
Yeah, that first play, man, that's RPO, right? And Alonza makes the proper read on that and gets the ball to Jaylon Sanchez. And I'm telling you, if Jaylon Sanchez catches that ball clean, he probably gets a lot more yards than he got. He might even score on that play. He was bobbling the pass because I think to your point, I think it even caught him off guard that he got the ball out so quick. But, we knew that Coastal was going to bring everything, in this game where really they didn't have a whole lot to lose. They were already bowl eligible. They weren't going to really necessarily gain anything from winning this game other than maybe not having to play in the Myrtle Beach Bowl again, right? In their own home stadium. So, they brought everything but the kitchen sink in this game, right? So listen, they start the game with a flea flicker. Then later they throw a backwards pass. They're trying to do a double pass. The receiver ends up keeping it, does not do it. Then they ran the double reverse flea flicker, which they got us on. They get 2 onside kicks and they faked the punt. So literally we saw an entire season's worth of trick plays and gadgets in this one game.
Yeah, man, and it's just so impressive. Like our defense has been so impressive, bro. Jacob Thomas, that screen where he was able to sniff the screen to the running back. The running back ended up getting injured because of how just fast he got there. No running back. And you can speak to this on the screenplay. You are blind now to the defense.
Yeah.
Right? And you're trusting that your quarterback, is not going to put you in harm's way.
Yeah.
However, it's almost like the quarterback didn't mean to put him in harm's way. Jacob Thomas is just flying from the safety position and coming down strong. And it's like, bro, what do we do?
Yeah.
And
it's so crazy. They mentioned on the broadcast that Jacob Thomas, again, was a walk-on, right? And people forget that because he's an All-American this year. And he played quarterback in high school. I had also forgotten that. And so I went on his Instagram and watched some Jacob Thomas quarterback highlights on his Instagram.
He was a dog
from high school. He was a dog, bro. He played quarterback the way he plays safety, and he balled. And so I wanted to bring that up.
You can tell that he played the way that he plays the safety position. You can tell that he was a good quarterback. I don't even need to see his highlights to know, bro. And this is not, I'm not trying to talk about myself, but in high school,
blow that horn, Matt.
No. This is just trying to get people to understand, like, quarterbacking helps you in so many different spaces because there's so much that a quarterback has to process, manage, and go through, right? I was a 1,000-yard receiver my sophomore year in high school. That helped me to be a better quarterback. And because I played receiver my sophomore year, I now understood the mindset of a wide receiver when it came to me playing quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I understood, like, throwing to one guy is cool, but getting the ball to other guys is pretty cool too, because now I know that this guy just ran 30 routes and he only got one target or didn't get any targets. That's kind of messed up. You know what I mean? Or it just kind of helped me to understand the psychology. And then in 7-on-7s, my coach, we didn't believe in going both ways, but in 7-on-7s, like, if we were getting beat, I'm like, coach, put me back there. And I'm getting back there at safety, right? And I automatically knew what the quarterback was trying to do. I know you're not throwing the ball where you're looking first. Right. I know you're, like, as you're dropping, you might be looking right, but I know you're trying to set something up on the left side.
Let me ask you this, because you bring up a really good point, man. I had this debate with somebody not too long ago, but obviously the quarterback has, if you look on the field, the quarterback probably knows more about football or has a higher football IQ than everybody else on the field. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. Like, yes, absolutely. I'm trying to give this big philosophical answer. But yes.
Don't. Let me give you the backup question to that. Who would you say has the second most knowledge of football, either on offense or defense? Like, who understands what's happening on the field more than the quarterback?
I want to say it's a close race between the center.
Yes.
Because he has to call the protection. He has to see the safety rotation pre-snap, but he also has to snap that ball pretty perfect every play.
Yes.
Right? Think about a quarterback. Alonza missed some passes.
Oh, he missed some passes in this game.
You know what
I'm saying? He played a good game, but he missed some passes. Yeah.
He missed some passes, right?
Yeah.
So quarterback can miss passes every now and then, but a center, if you miss a snap, and now mind you, it's the same 5 yards. I mean, come on, bro, it's like right there. So hopefully you don't miss.
But in terms of
I would
IQ,
say center.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
IQ, center, and then who else?
I would say safety. Like a safety is the back line of defense. If something gets behind you, you are wrong. I don't
Yeah.
care if your coach called a blitz. Like, you are the last line of defense, and everything must be played in front of you. But you now get to see the whole picture.
Yeah. And so what I was trying to explain to someone, because I agree with you, bro. Quarterback, center, safety, maybe middle linebacker, right?
Yeah.
The person that knows the least about football on that field, other than kicker, punter, right? The special teams guys, would be the running back. I mean, I'm going to tell you, bro, I did not learn anything about football in my career. High school, college, NFL. All I knew was give me the ball and I'm going to use my athleticism to make a play. I had to know pass protections, but I didn't really understand them, right? I just knew I had to go pick this guy up, right? I knew I didn't know coverages. I just knew which route I was going to run. And if they blitz, I'm hot now. But in terms of overall football knowledge, 90% of what I know, I've learned after my career.
That is hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. But so spot on, right? But at the same time, it leads into a great point. I can 100% tell you that JMU running backs coach, David Sims, who I played with at Georgia Tech, who was the starting running back at Georgia Tech. In fact, I just watched the Georgia Tech and Georgia game back in 2013. Probably my best game passing at Georgia Tech, over 200 yards, blah, blah, blah. But David Sims is the guy who I'm giving it to the whole game, right? This dude was the smartest running back I ever known. Like one of the smartest football guys, knowledge-wise, that I've ever known. In fact, because I was the young guy, he was the older guy, he would like tell me, bro, no, check it, or hey, do like, hey, do this. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so I will say JMU has a phenomenal, smart running back coach in David Sims, which tells me that some of that has probably been transferred down to our current running backs on the roster.
Yeah, you can tell, man, because I mean, our running backs are solid in pass protection, and so you could tell that that's great coaching, and they do a really good job, blocking. It's one thing to know where to go; it's another thing to actually block the guy. Like there are times I knew who to go block, but that guy might run me over and get to the quarterback.
Absolutely, and you're beside probably one of the smartest guys on the field, probably the smartest guy on the field. That's why To the House podcast is now shooting up, because now the running back got beside the quarterback. The quarterback was brought. I'm just playing.
Why you think I went and got you out of the transfer portal, my guy?
I'm just joking.
But. So you bring up, all right, so Barnett, man, I thought he played a really good game, but he did miss some throws. He goes over 5,000 yards for his career.
Yeah,
I think if he comes back next year, he's got a chance to be all-time leading passer at JMU, maybe, right? I haven't even looked at those numbers, but I would imagine, a 3-year starter would probably get him pretty close with the type of season he'll probably have next year.
Oh, yeah.
Wayne Knight had a solid game. Wayne Knight actually had a couple of miscues in this game, right? I mean, he dropped a pass. We hadn't seen that all season. He had a fumble. Hadn't seen that all season, but overall, still a really solid running performance.
Was this Wayne Knight's first game without a reception?
Yeah, it was first game without a reception. I mean, he had one in the hands, but he dropped it.
And it also might be his first game not going over 100 total yards. I got to confirm that.
No, he's been close a couple of times. Like he's at 98 yards here, 99 yards there.
But then he'll have the receiving yards, right?
Oh, you mean total? Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Maybe he had some punt return yards, I think, in this game.
Now, to be fair, he had 85 yards rushing. That's still a solid performance. But
solid game.
We're used to right?
Yeah, Coastal had some dogs up front, man. I got to be honest. They had some athletes up front who could actually make plays. They just got worn down in the second half and didn't make plays because our boy, Joby Wankanobi, Joby Mallory, just absolutely took over this game. In fact, we got like a thunder and lightning kind of thing going right now with Joby and Wayne Knight, which I kind of like. What do you think?
12 carries, 154 yards, 1 touchdown. And I love, because I was listening to him, I think last week, and he was talking about getting caught by the DB. And he was like, but that's okay. I'm supposed to, I don't have that Wayne Knight speed. But bro, dude, like Coastal Carolina, they got like a fast track. At least it looks like that. And when I say fast track, their turf looks pretty daggone
It looks
fast, right?
fast, yeah.
And Joby looked daggone fast on that turf. I mean, dude was
I didn't
out.
think he was going to get there.
No,
I can be
neither.
honest. And I'm sitting in
Neither.
the stadium. I'm like, this is going to be a great run. There's no way he gets to the end zone. And
No.
when he got there, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
bro could be a pro. And it's what I said last week. Somebody honestly has to tell me why this guy has been on the sideline for 85% of the offensive plays over the last 2 years, because every time he's in there, he flashes.
Yeah.
He makes plays.
Is this like a is this like a Reggie Bush Lindell White combination, or is this like, is that fair, or is this like Lindell White was pretty daggone big. I don't know if like
Yeah, I don't
Joby,
know.
but
No, Joey's not
I
that
just
big.
remember growing up, I loved that combination.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who you put in. You knew that Lindell White was going to come in during the goal line, right, and short yardage situation. But then he also pulled away like Joby does as well. And so anyway, if you guys remember that USC team that was really nice. Man, they would kind of remind me of that.
It's a great change of pace, whatever it is, right? I mean, you got Joby in there and he's going to ball. And then you put Wayne Knight back in, and now they got to, he's making people miss. I would like to see our boy George Pettaway get back into the rotation a little bit more, because I still think Pettaway still has the Wayne Knight ability. It's just that he hasn't really gotten the carries, and I think his time is still coming. So I do feel pretty confident that Pettaway is going to have a huge impact on this team at some point. The other thing that was really cool, man, we had some offensive performers that we had not seen flash, who actually made some plays in this game. Our guy Mikey Scott got his first career touchdown, which was awesome. Smoke Collins got in on the act, got a couple of catches, I think. The only thing I'll say about Smoke is that, he almost got us another pick in this game on a route that he ran, where he runs that hitch. And I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get upfield as he's catching the ball. What he's got to understand, though, is on that hitch, you got to put that foot in the ground and you got to either stand there or come back to the ball, because the DB made a great play on the ball. And as he's drifting upfield, that actually had disaster written all over it. So I was glad he was able to still catch it and get upfield for some positive yards. But that was a close one, right?
Yeah. I mean, as receivers, you cannot drift. There's no drift. In fact, I learned early on when I was at GT, Calvin Johnson used to always come to Georgia Tech every summer, and I got an opportunity to throw to him. And man, as you can imagine, my eyes are wide, and I'm just like, bro. And one of the things that I remember about him is obviously, him being this 6'6" Megatron guy, but he didn't do anything flashy. It was getting to his spot quickly and coming downhill. So if he ran it out, it was always downhill. It wasn't like drifting. It was like he ran an out, but he's always coming back towards the ball, cutting the DB off from being able to pick the ball. And so I just remember learning, like, as a red shirt and a freshman, like, whoa, this is one of the all-time greats. But I was expecting for him to do this flat. So I always underthrew him the ball because I'm waiting for him to give me this, and he never did. He just got to the spot as fast as he could, and he came downhill. So good call on that.
So what do you think about what do you think about the interception then? Because that one also kind of looked like Jaylon maybe drifted a little bit, didn't come back to the ball. Probably also still on Alonza. Probably also just a great play by the DB. But what was your take on that?
My take is I don't like the play call, because if you go back and look at it, you have two receivers that's like daggone. If they hold each other hands out, they can touch hands.
Right.
That's easy for any DB, because DBs are always trying to get a sense of where another guy is in case they can help out to go undercut the route. Because you think that they guarding one guy, and then next thing you know, they're so close enough they can go get the pick on the other guy. And so when the DB has visions of two guys, that gives him two like opportunities to break in. And so for me, what I know based on just playing a bunch of different offenses and playing quarterback. That was a simple hook, all hooks. And all hooks is you run 10 yards and you turn around, kind of get to the spot of where the first down is. So you catch the ball, kind of like a curl route, right?
Right.
But this time, instead of them running just all hooks, they decided to switch. And so the inside receiver runs the outside hook, and the outside receiver now runs in for the inside. Same play,
Yeah.
but you just get to it differently. You're gonna get the same guys in the same spot.
Right.
And so it just felt like because of the switch, it didn't play in favor of us. It actually played in favor of the DB because now that both DBs have vision of the two receivers, if that makes sense.
And were they in man there?
Yeah, they was in man.
They were in man, yeah. Because, I mean, I guess the idea would be that you create somewhat of a mesh where, you
Right.
run sort of a pick if you did that. But
there was no pick. There was no mesh. It was just a
yeah.
switch. And so,
Yeah.
didn't really like it. I can't really blame the receiver, and I can't really blame Alonza. It just didn't seem like the spacing was right on that play.
And by the way, the DB also made a really good play on the ball, right?
For sure.
Those guys got scholarships too. And everybody, I think everybody forgets because, Coastal was still out there competing in this game that was sort of meaningless to them. But here's what you got to remember. Number one, that coach is coaching for his job.
Yeah.
Right. Which he apparently did not get to keep after the game. But the other thing you got to remember is all these kids are auditioning for the transfer portal. So they're out there trying to make plays. They don't care if it's fourth quarter and there's 3 minutes on the clock. They're still competing to make plays because they got to put film out because they might be trying to get up out of Coastal Carolina or get even more money from Coastal Carolina to stay there.
Absolutely. I mean, and what better way to end your season? First, you're bowl eligible, and then you beat a playoff team, right? And then that helps your chances of getting to a better bowl game. If you're Coastal Carolina, you're upset that you played in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Like you're trying to get the heck up out of Conway, South Carolina.
Yes,
and so,
yes.
man, it was incredible, bro. Our defense, like, I'll be honest, man, our defense is like, I've been expecting. They've been playing so well, like they play like all year. It's been consistent.
Yeah,
I've been like waiting for that. Not waiting. Let me choose my words
but
correctly.
the letdown, right?
Yeah. Like it's okay. I've been looking for that humanistic element of our defense, and to be honest, man, put us in the SEC.
Well, I gotta be honest, man. Like when you think about it, and for SEC Stan to say that, I mean, hopefully fans of To the House understand how big it is for SEC Stan Vad Lee to say put us in the SEC. But when you think about it, though, the defensive letdown was the Marshall game. Like that was our worst defensive performance. I guess you could make a case for 2 plays at Louisville. They played their worst game, right, against those 2 plays. But Marshall goes over 400 total yards, and we have not seen that since, right? And so I think to your point, our defense can play not a perfect game and still win. We can win as a team, and I think that's the other side of this. Even when we're not our best, like maybe at Washington State, we can still win the game.
But the thing is, like, to make your defense great, your offense has to be on point as well. And there was a few games this year where our offense was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And yet our defense was still able to hold it down. And I believe their numbers would even be better had our offense had figured it out a little early on, right? But man, this defense, I mean, this coaching staff, this entire unit, and our offense have been playing really, really well. So I just think that we're gelling, we're bonding at the right time and at a great time, especially with all the playoff indications and all the coaches making moves, and certainly we have our coach in the mix of a lot of conversations as well, and let's the committee is looking at all of those things, right?
Oh yeah,
they said that they were factor those things in, so right now that favors us because we have everybody still in place.
As of 11:16 a.m. Monday morning, you're exactly right, Vad. I mean, we have
December 1st, right?
December 1st, 11:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But man, after that App State game where we held App State to 1 rushing yard, I was like, that's got to be the pinnacle of a defensive rushing
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the stats during this game in the stadium because they keep a running log of stats. Like Coastal was like negative 18 yards at one point, negative 12 yards, I think, going into halftime rushing yards. And they finished the game with negative 5 rushing yards. That means
That's
that
incredible.
Coastal Carolina and App State combined to rush for negative 4 yards against this defense.
Wow.
Like, that's
Incredible.
insane. Now, of course, they got some passing yards in this game. In fact, they hit a couple of nice passes, a couple of them on Justin Eaglin, who, we've somewhat praised throughout the season because he's had like a great turnaround to his career. It seemed like to me that Coastal saw something either on film or during the game that they felt they could expose and actually go after Justin Eaglin a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about how they got to it, though, like how they really got going, they had to do the little whole trick play and all of that, which we were on. I think it was Barksdale. I think he like almost was there to get the sack, but then he kind of fell or whatever. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Eaglin, I think it's something that one, you got to choose, you got to pick your poison. Like you got to choose somebody, right, to
Yeah.
go after. That it doesn't matter if you're going against the number 1 defense in the nation. You gotta, as an offense, the coaching staff have to choose which guy we're gonna go against, which guy that we think is best to go against. And it seemed like, they decided to choose that guy. And obviously that's gonna only help him get better. That's gonna only help him to improve. Last week I think they threw a post over his head, but then he had an interception right before. And so as a DB, you got to have short memory, right? You got to have, like, if you get a pick, that's great and all, but guess what? You got you got to get back out there, especially if you score a pick 6. Guess what? You got to get some water. You got to get back out there because most likely a team is going to try you again.
100%, man. So, I think Troy is going to throw the ball downfield this week because they don't really have a run game. And obviously when we hold somebody to negative 5 rushing yards, they're probably not going to try to run the ball so much. So
Right.
Eaglin and the defensive secondary, I think it's going to be a week for them. The other thing is, as I look at this game, man, Spinagati, has another really good game. I think he had like 3 tackles for loss in this game. Dude is just is like a prototypical linebacker for me. Like you look up linebacker in the dictionary, there's a picture of Drew Spinagati.
No doubt.
He just got that look, man. The neck, the square jawline,
Yeah.
So really, really like the way he played. I got scared for a second in the stadium because there was no number 5 on defense, Trent Hendrick, but apparently maybe he got some blood or on his jersey or tore his jersey or something and had to switch to 42.
Oh, for some reason I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
Was that second half?
Yeah, I think it actually even happened in the first half because I was looking for. I was like, where is Trent Hendrick?
I mean, he's the guy that I spot like first. He's just easy to spot out there, right?
Yeah.
And he's always around the ball, and he loves having fun, right? And dancing and all of this stuff. So he's an easy guy to kind of spot out.
Well, I got
so I saw him early on, but I didn't even notice.
It tells you how important numbers are.
Yeah.
Because when he was out there in that 42 and he covered, like they ran like a corner route with their tight end, and Trent Hendrick was the cover guy on that, right? They let him cover tight ends, and they throw it to the tight end in the end zone. The tight end actually had to stop on him. I was like, yo, who is this bum number 42? He don't even have his name on his jersey, but
That's
anyway.
hilarious. Well, I think that also brings a good point. I've seen Trent in coverage a lot this year. Not a, I mean, yeah, a fair amount. And he's this big guy that looks like he's just supposed to stop the run. I have to give him credit for being able to cover as well.
No, Trent's a dog, bro.
Yeah, he's low-key a good cover man as well. And so when he's in man-to-man versus tight ends, I'm not scared. I'm not nervous, right? I do believe that, when we go against these playoff teams, I think, some teams are going to try to scheme up on some stuff like that because, they got these big tight ends where, 6'6", and these tight ends now run 4.4s.
Yeah.
Right? I do believe that teams, a way to for teams to try to maybe get our defense is to try to put them against linebackers versus tight end type of matchups. But
Yep.
Trent has been able to hold it down for the most part this season, and
Yeah.
so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all try it. Let's see. Let's go.
Not only Trent, but also you see DJ Barksdale, man, at 5'9", covering 6'3", 6'4" tight ends. And by the way, so the offense goes with, maybe a 12 personnel, and we can still have our nickel package in the game because Barksdale can cover these tight ends. I mean, that is a huge advantage for us on defense from a speed perspective. And the fact that you got, either Gannon Weathersby or Spinagati in there and Trent Hendrick. I mean, I'm telling you, man, like this defense is absolutely legit. I'm also excited that Spinagati gets to come back next year, Lord willing. He's only a junior, I think. So he comes back next year, and as well as Gannon Weathersby is also a junior. And then KJ Flo, my boy out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I always love the Charlotte guys, man. We got 2 Charlotte kids on this defense between him and Elijah Culp, who's an absolute maniac, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Culp's a maniac. But KJ Flo gets his pick 6, first interception, first career touchdown, all on the same play, man. So I was like super excited to see that for KJ.
Hey man, I'm feeling the Charlotte love. I'm right down the street, not too far from you. So, man, I'm a big North Carolina guy, and so that's probably why I love Alonza so much. Being from Greensboro, right down the road from me. Outside of his play, right, it's just really cool story, especially when you put up so many points against UNC. Because I kind of felt that, I kind of did the same thing when I was in college. So
exactly
anyway,
right.
shout out to the North Carolina, man. North Carolina produced dogs. Come on, man.
Not more than Virginia, but we'll save that debate for another
Hey, bro,
time.
you're a North Carolina resident. You're supposed to say, yeah, I'm with you.
So I see firsthand, that Virginia has way better athletes than North Carolina, but
I cannot agree with you on that.
It's not even close. Vat, it's not close.
No, for real though.
Vat. Literally, we could just take the Tidewater area and put it up against the entire state of North Carolina, and Virginia wins. That's not even counting Southwest Virginia, Northern Virginia, Central Virginia. We don't even have to go there. We could just take Tidewater itself and put it up against North and South Carolina, and it's curtains.
No, that's so disrespectful, and I'm gonna act like you didn't even say that, bro. That's bro. It's Texas, Florida, and North Carolina.
Oh my God, bro! Just completely left out California.
That's right.
Yeah.
Over the last,
no chance.
Over the last like 5 drafts, the most the most guys that got drafted is from the state of North Carolina.
All right, we got to fact check this.
I might have made it up, but
you definitely made it up.
You made up a lot of stuff because the mic is in my hands right now. But I do think it's a little stuff. I do remember saying something. So go look that up.
By the way, our producer says Richmond. The Richmond area is better than all of North Carolina.
Richmond, no, sir.
And I have to agree, man. I have to agree. No, but anyway, we're gonna get off track. We're gonna save this debate though, because and by the way, if you are listening to this, if you want to put it on YouTube, put it in the comments. Who has better athletes, Virginia or North Carolina? But yeah, by the way, the quarterback for Coastal is also a Charlotte kid. He went to Huff, I think. So he and KJ played against each other in high school, which is a pretty cool connection. But with all that, man, we absolutely dominate Coastal once again, 59-10. I think somebody said if you add up all the points that Coastal has scored in the last 4 years, it would not even beat our lowest offensive output of 39 points a couple of years ago. So
yeah.
I mean, it's just the annual tradition that we just beat down Coastal Carolina. So now, of course, Vat, we're heading to the Sunbelt Championship game, and I'm really, really excited about this one.
Sorry.
Bless you. Are you allergic to championships, Vat?
No, I'm not.
No, you're good.
I'm good.
So obviously we come into this game ranked number 19th in the AP poll, number 19 in the coaches poll. Still unranked in the CFP poll, but we got that poll coming out on tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Vad, have your expectations changed now for what the committee is going to do with JMU on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I think we have to let this weekend play out.
Yeah.
I don't know if expectations change because Tulane took care of business. Who else?
Not like style points against the worst team in the country, right? I mean, what did they win? Like 27-0, 29-0?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, shutouts in college football is impressive.
That's true.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. I think it probably stays about the same. There was some big games and upsets and things that happened. I mean, we gotta talk about the whole ACC drama right now, right?
Yeah. The ACC championship, bro, is going to be like, I don't know which game I'm more excited about, the Sunbelt Championship or the ACC championship.
Yeah, I can tell you I'm excited about the ACC championship. I mean, hey, that doesn't take away. I'm not a player, so I can talk like this, right? We're gonna take care of business, and I'm looking forward to ACC. In fact,
I might
I'm
go.
gonna have to watch.
I might
I
go.
don't know. They might play at the same time. I might have to watch JMU game over.
No, it's Saturday. The ACC championship is
Oh,
Saturday. So
and
we play Friday night. So I'm going to be in Harrisonburg Friday night for the JMU game. And then I'm
and
driving
then you
back to
drive it back to
Charlotte Saturday morning. I can go to the game
Bro,
here.
that
But
is
I
amazing.
can't do cold two nights in a row, bro. I can't do
No
that.
doubt, no doubt. How cold is it gonna be in Harrisonburg on Friday?
It's supposed to be like 30s, feels like 20s.
Oh man,
So,
and you're in the mountains, bro. So shout out to all of JMU fans who's gonna pack the house. That's an extra game on the schedule at our home stadium that we were hoping to have, but we have, and so this is a phenomenal opportunity on the national spotlight. Sunbelt champs, man, it's gonna be a good time, bro. But I tell you what, I'm taking that. I wear the Dukes, the S on Friday, and then just put a slash between that S on
I love that.
Saturday.
I love that.
And here's the thing. Here's the cool thing. I posted a picture of me back in 2016. I actually participated in Duke's Pro Day in 2016. They didn't have a senior quarterback, and me being from Durham, North Carolina, I have a phenomenal relationship with David Cutcliffe, who coached the Manning brothers.
Yeah.
He allowed me to come and do their pro day and be able to throw to their receivers. And so anyway, I got this picture with everybody in the huddle. I got the Dukes, JMU Dukes on purple, right? But everybody around me got the Duke blue and white.
I saw that.
It was just pretty cool because, bro, they embraced me like I played there. Like it was like a true brotherhood. Of course, they want me to get the ball to them so they can look good, right?
Yeah.
For pro day, but it was really pretty special. So anyway, I got nothing but love for Duke, and me being a Durham, North Carolina guy.
I was
bro.
gonna ask you, growing up in Durham, did you root for Duke, either football or basketball, or were you like a Chapel Hill guy?
Oh no, I was a Tar Heel all the way. I was a Tar Heel all the way. But I will say Duke was my first scholarship offer, my sophomore year in high school. And if I ran into a coach from Duke the other day, and like all of them know me because, bro, I literally used to just go there and just go to the weight room, go get protein shakes. I used to run the stadium stairs. That was a big part of my development, running the stadium. If you ever been to Duke Stadium, it's crazy. In fact, I talked about them last week on To the House.
Did. Right.
When I took it to the house. But anyway, they all felt like I was a player, and they all kind of felt like, bro, like he's automatically coming here. He's here every week.
Yeah.
But they were losing at the time, right? And I was coming off North Carolina Player of the Year state championship. I'm just like, I don't know if I can stay home in Durham,
Yeah, no, you did the right thing, bro. Get out of Dodge.
No
Right?
doubt.
But I mean, so yeah, we're all gonna be Duke fans. I mean, I gotta say, man. So with Pitt losing last week and SMU losing, right? I would imagine, bro, the committee has to absolutely include JMU. Like, who else are they gonna put? Even if we're 25. We have to at least be included in the rankings. And, I think the reality is they only put SMU, a 3-loss SMU, in the rankings anyway, because there was a path for SMU to win the conference championship.
Yeah.
Right. So they were trying to cover their bases to make sure the ACC had somebody in there. But, bro, I got to tell you, man, I feel like, you ever see The Color Purple, the movie?
Yeah.
And Celie, she's like, she says to, I think it's Harpo, right? Like, nothing good is going to come to you until you do right by me. Like, I think that was like the most, profound thing that was said in that entire movie. And that's how I feel about this committee, right? Nothing good is going to come to them until they do right by us. And it's so ironic that the name of that movie is The Color Purple.
Color Purple. I love it.
And we were purple. I did not even make that connection when I made this reference, but because think about it, bro. They wanted Memphis, and as soon as they put Memphis up there, Memphis lost. Then, of course, they wanted South Florida, and if they put South Florida there, South Florida loses. Then they threw Tulane in there, and now Tulane doesn't even have a coach. And the backup.
Well, all three of those programs lost their coaches.
All three lost their coaches, and then the backup to Tulane is North Texas, and now North Texas has lost their coach, right? And then they add Pitt and SMU in there to keep JMU out of it to try to boost up the ACC. And then, of course, both of them lose this week. And now they got Duke in the ACC championship to totally, absolutely obliterate their playoff expectations. Committee, nothing good is going to come to you until you do right by us.
By the Color Purple. Bro, I love that this is Color Purple week. And I also love how kind of like hilarious this whole situation is with, yes, we're rooting for Duke as a JMU to get into the playoffs, but bro, they're playing against the team an hour down the road. Like, it's hilarious because it's like I don't know. I probably as a graduated from Virginia, in the state of Virginia, the Dudley Award, 2-time Player of the Year. I probably would go for Virginia on any other occasion.
So you really showing that you are not from Virginia. I'm absolutely
not from Virginia.
You're absolutely a North Carolina guy.
I probably would go for Virginia.
But you are maybe the only JMU guy on the planet that would pull for Virginia in this game. I wouldn't care.
Bro, we took it.
By the way, no.
We took care of them 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago, whatever for.
Even if we didn't need Duke to win this game, there is zero chance I'm pulling for Virginia in this game. I don't want anything good to ever happen to the University of Virginia. Like, if the shoe were on the other foot, Vat, and UVA was the 6-5 or a 7-5 team in this ACC championship, and we needed them to beat Duke to get JMU in, that would be a hard one, my guy. Like, it would be really, really hard for me to root for UVA, even if it meant a playoff berth for JMU.
You wouldn't put that orange on? You wouldn't put that orange and blue on?
No chance, bro. And my high school mascot was the Cavalier, and I won't even go back to my high school class reunion. I got my 30th reunion next year. No Cavalier, nowhere, bro.
That's hilarious, bro. Hey, you heard it here from a Virginia guy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just this North Carolina guy that just appreciate my wife is from Richmond, right?
Who cares,
and,
bro?
I just appreciate Virginia,
Yeah.
I got love for Virginia.
I gotta be honest, man. So, like, we need Duke to win, but it's extra special if Duke beats Virginia and keeps them out of the playoff. Like, that would be extra special. And so I would not put it past the committee, though, to be honest, to put a 8-5 ACC champion Duke ahead of us in the rankings, just to prevent that doomsday scenario. Because I have no faith in this committee, to be honest. And so it would be unlikely, because you know why? Duke has done something this year that JMU hasn't done. Duke has lost to 2 G5 programs this year. JMU has lost to no G5 programs.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about this Sunbelt Championship game, Vat. Of course, we played the Troy Trojans, and we've got some history with Troy. Actually, going back, I think the first matchup that we ever had with Troy was in 1999 in the playoffs. My junior year, we played Troy.
Take us way back, Delvin. Take us way back.
Let's get into DeLorean, bro, and let's go back to 1999. But my junior year, we played Troy. Back then, they were Troy State. We played them in the first round of the playoffs. And we played them, if for people who don't know, because we had a really good team that year, right? We had Curtis Keaton's on that team. We had a really good quarterback, Greg Maddox, who I got to see this past week at the game. Dude's doing awesome, man. He's a emergency room doctor in Seattle, Washington, right? Like, I just never pegged Greg Maddox as a emergency room doc, but
let's go QB.
Doing amazing, right? Smart guy. But we had a really good team. The unfortunate thing is Greg Maddox, our quarterback, was hurt in that game. Our backup quarterback that year was John DiFilippo, which DiFilippo, he's a coach. He was also injured for that game. Our backup to him, Chris Paquette, was also injured for that game. So guess
What did
what?
y'all do?
We had our fourth string quarterback who was actually, he wasn't even a quarterback. He was a receiver. He was like a third string receiver who used to play quarterback, Jason Thompson. His brother actually was a starting quarterback for Penn State. And so he had a quarterback pedigree. He played quarterback in that game.
Wow.
So we go into Troy State with a quarterback who is actually a receiver. And of course,
Wow.
we lose that game. But since moving up to FBS, I think we've only played them once, and we actually beat them in Troy in 2003. A tough game in a year that Troy was coming off the Sunbelt Championship the year before, and then won the Sunbelt Championship that year, mostly because JMU couldn't play in either year because we had just moved up. So
Yeah.
Vat, thoughts on Troy and what it looks like for us in this Sunbelt Championship game.
Yeah, man, this team has been battle tested. I'm looking at their scores and things of that nature. I mean, they've played two overtime games that they won both, Texas State and South Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Which of course we took care of business against Texas State in a major way. So if we're looking at that, we're like, oh man, they struggle with that. We're good, right? However, this team is peaking at the right time, right?
Yeah.
They've won the last two games, beating Southern Miss and Georgia State, 31-19 to Georgia State. And so, when you think about, I haven't watched them a lot on film, because at this point, man, it's all about the Dukes, right? And I say that respectfully, not saying that, if Troy fans listens to this, I'm not even saying that as a diss. I'm saying that as a JMU domination. Simply because, one, I'm no longer in this phase of waiting on our defensive letdown, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm also no longer in this phase like early in the year, like, oh, I don't know what we're gonna get from the offense. Right? It's this phase of we are the Dukes of JMU.
Talk that stuff.
And no matter who is on the schedule, right? We are going to take care of business. We have a quarterback who, shout out to Wayne Knight as well, who went over 1,000 yards rushing.
That's right.
Quarterback that went over 5K in his career. And we have multiple quarterbacks on defense that's just dominating, right?
Yeah.
Jacob Thomas, we got and our defensive line. Let me say this: our defensive line. Our early on in the year, we couldn't get sacks.
Yeah.
Now we're in the backfield. And so I think our coaching staff, I think our players, I think we are built and made for this moment, this Sunbelt Conference Championship moment. I also believe that our fan base, like our stadium, being able to sell out throughout the years, going from not staying in the second half to staying all four quarters strong. I just believe that, I'm sorry that you asked me talk about Troy, and now I'm talking about JMU.
No, that's right.
That's how I feel in terms of there's no scouting report. Go be you, the Dukes of JMU, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, man. Because I agree with you. When I look at Troy's results for the season, they are a little up and down, right?
Yeah.
Now let's be honest. They're only in this position because Southern Miss just totally collapsed and lost their last 3 games of the season. I mean, Southern Miss was in the driver's seat. In fact, I started rooting for Southern Miss, not because I wanted to necessarily play Southern Miss in the championship and get revenge on Charles Huff and all that. I didn't really care about that so much. I wanted Southern Miss to finish the season strong, maybe come into this Sunbelt Championship game at 10-2, so that now it's a resume booster for us, right?
Yeah.
Because at 10-2, Southern Miss would have been a fringe AP top 25 team. They would have probably started receiving votes. And I felt like we needed a 10-2 West division opponent in order to boost our resume.
Yeah, man. I totally agree with you. And I love that you brought up Southern Miss. simply because this game will be totally different playing against a Southern Miss team versus a Troy team. That's
Yeah.
not overlooking Troy. However, there's just too much emotion involved in that Southern Miss team that I'm so glad to be playing Troy. Now, obviously, it doesn't. It, like you said, it would have looked better if Southern Miss 10-2, right? It would have looked better in terms of committee. Man, forget all that committee mess at this point. The ACC done kind of got us a way in, and so that's our way in. And so anyway, but you talk about Charles Huff. He got basically let go last year. He did get let go, not basically, he got let go after winning the conference championship, and then went to another conference opponent, right? And now bringing them to the championship. Man, that game we would be talking differently. We would be a little nervous right now,
It would be a different ball game. And I think Braylon Braxton, the quarterback, who I think was Sunbelt Player of the Year last year, is, a much more scary quarterback than the quarterback we're going to face this week. And, Troy, remember, I don't know if you remember this, in week 2, they hung in there with Clemson. Now, at the time, we thought Clemson was a good football team. It turns out Clemson's not great this year.
Wait a minute. Since Vadley showed up.
They're 4-0.
They beaten SEC teams. They beaten the team that we lost, the one team that we lost to.
Yes,
I'll just toot my horn on this session. Maybe this session should be toot Vad's horn. But hey, since I showed up 4-0, Dabo,
hey, listen,
Dabo. Man. Hey, man, keep going. Keep going. I don't know why the team's not bringing me in to come speak, but, man, the results are there.
The results are absolutely there. Since Vad showed up, the streets have not been the same. And so, again, Troy played Clemson really tough. They even had a chance to win it. I think they kind of hung in there with Memphis, although they didn't look great. And, they just got absolutely obliterated 2 weeks ago, though, by Old Dominion. And what's interesting, prior to the Southern Miss game, they gave up 500 yards in back-to-back games. They gave up 500 yards of offense to Old Dominion, and they also gave up, and are you ready for this? 500 yards of total offense to Georgia State. I mean, 1 in 10 Georgia State had over 500 yards of total offense against this defense.
Yeah, that's not what I want our team to see. That's not what I want our offense to see. I mean, that's not what I want them to hear. I want them to watch film and see the opportunities there, right? But yeah, when you think about that, it's like,
And ironically, they have the number 3 ranked defense in the Sunbelt right now, both total defense and scoring defense. But it's not even close to where we are. They're 71st in the country for total defense. They gave up 377 yards per game. And they're 63rd in the country in scoring defense. Again, 3rd in the Sun Belt. They give up 23.9 points a game. Now, that's actually kind of stingy, right? 23.9 points. And, we got to score points on offense in order to beat them. They also, and I think this is where our offense should also be licking their chops, they give up 171 rushing yards per game, right? Now, if you compare that to I think we give up 83 rushing yards a game. They almost give up 100 more total rushing yards than we do. Now, they don't really necessarily have any standouts, I don't believe, on defense, except for a kid named Donnie Smith, who's a defensive end. The guy's got 9 sacks. He's actually a transfer from a community college in Mississippi. And if you know anything, we talked a lot about Virginia and North Carolina football. Bro, Mississippi runs the community college game.
Absolutely.
It's Mississippi and California, right? You want a community college kid, you go to California or Mississippi. And this kid is an absolute dog, came from some Mississippi community college, and he's balling for Troy. I don't expect him to be there next year, probably.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about just their letdown in terms of Georgia State giving up 500, their quarterback. Man, I think it comes down. I love that you brought up their top 3 in defense, and one, it has me thinking like, man, Sunbelt Conference, bro, like, woo, is for them to give up 500 and then for you to come back on the next sentence and say that they are number 3
in the conference.
In the conference is just like,
hold that thought, though, because we're going to come back to that. But keep
it goes to your up and down about Troy.
Yeah.
It goes to the up and down feelings and emotions about Troy, and just we just got to put our foot to the pedal.
Yeah.
And we can't let up. We can't give them a sense of life and a sense of hope. Even like last week, Saturday, Coastal Carolina, we gave them a little life when they went on that stretch of scoring those 10 points. I think they went back-to-back drives on scoring, right? Right before halftime, things kind of looked a little ugly for us. It kind of like looked like
Yeah.
it was going the opposite. Alonza took that big sack right before, right?
Yeah.
And then we called I don't want to go back, but it's my last point. Then we called like a QB draw or something that was like, bro, what are we
Yeah.
doing here? And so anyway, not to go back, we just can't
Yeah.
give Troy that same sense of life, because I think that this team has enough mojo about them where they'll take advantage of it.
Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right, man. I feel like, sometimes our offense, we just kind of go into these lulls. I mean, I think what you were just describing is like we had an offensive lull at Coastal combined with Coastal making a couple of plays, and you could just feel
Right.
the momentum change. And a team like Troy, I mean, listen, Troy, and this is no shade to Troy, but they should be happy to be here, right? Because of the epic collapse. And they also beat USM to get into this game. So I'm not taking anything away from Troy at all. And by the way, they are a very historically winning program that is very, very proud. So they don't feel like they don't belong in this game. They're absolutely going to come into Bridgeforth and try to beat us. And, the other side of the ball for them on offense, their quarterback, they've had a couple of quarterbacks play, right? They had Tucker Gilcrease, who's been their most productive quarterback, but I think he's played mostly because of injury to the guy that they think gives them the better chance to win, Goose Crowder. I don't know where they get these names, but I love this Goose Crowder. I mean, I'm glad I'm not doing the broadcast, because having to say Goose Crowder in the middle of a sentence in a football game would be tough. But I think, he was out for a couple of weeks with injury. He came back for the USM game. He didn't look great, but he did throw for 300 yards or so. But they are 113th in the country in total offense, and they're 84th in scoring offense. So their offense has been an absolute albatross for them, mostly the running game. They came into the USM game last week ranked dead last in rushing offense. In every FBS school in the country, they were dead last. And of course, they're obviously last in the Sunbelt in rushing. And then what makes it even tougher for them is that Goose Crowder, their quarterback, is not even a threat to run the ball. The dude has 37 rushing yards on the season. He is a pure pocket passer. And this team, right, has given up 49 sacks this season, right?
Wow.
So again, when you look at pocket passer, not particularly mobile, dead last in rushing offense, and an offensive line that has given up 49 quarterback sacks on the season, this has the recipe for our defense to have one of these absolutely electrically dominating performances. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
It's gonna be a lot of color purple. This is color purple week, man. Color purple in the backfield, color purple in the end zone, color purples in the streamers.
That's
the color purple.
They do have a couple of receivers that can go. I think Taylor and Thomas. I mean, these kids can absolutely ball. They're big play guys. So again, we still got to be disciplined. We got to figure out what happened on the back end with Eaglin over the last couple of weeks. Make sure that's fixed. But
I think we've been extremely aggressive, right? Like over the last few weeks, we've been extremely aggressive, get to the backfield. I'm not so sure, like maybe that's just our MO each and every week to be aggressive, but I'm not even so sure that I'm not sure it's necessary, right?
Yeah.
I want to see our defensive line develop even more. Not develop, but dominate, right? I want to see them get to the quarterback without getting help from a blitz, right?
Yeah.
I want to we're gonna need that. We might need a few guys in coverage, in this postseason. Yeah,
well, especially if we're playing in a playoff game against an SEC team, we need to be able to get to the quarterback with 4.
Absolutely.
Right, because we're gonna drop some people in coverage, and
so I say we see that this week. I feel like we will as a game plan. Let's stay home. Not play safe, but let's stay home. Like let's
Yeah.
basically, in quote unquote, let's make them beat us, right? Which we feel like they can't. And
They
so,
can't.
yeah, man.
Because they can't run the ball. I mean, we don't even have to stack the box. We can, we don't have to bring pressure. We don't have to bring, they can't run the ball. So now their punter is really good. Maybe because he's punted a lot, but I want to see him on the field a lot on
sure.
Friday night. But he's an NFL punter. I mean, the guy pins teams down. He can absolutely flip the field. So he's a really good player. All right, Vad. So again, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be freezing my butt off. I did splurge on some club tickets just so I can kind of go in and get my toesies warm. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's still going to be a fantastic night. Hopefully everybody comes out for this game. All right, let's go to what you're talking about, Willis, man.
Uh-oh.
What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
All right, so I got two what you talking about Willis's right now. The first is my co-host of my podcast, Vad Lee, said that North Carolina had more people drafted in the NFL draft than did Virginia. Now, the good thing about our producer is that my guy is fact checking you in real time. Hang on, Vad. Hang on. So per Google, right? Google Gemini, their AI, Texas had the most players drafted in the 2025 NFL draft with 36, followed by Florida, then Georgia, then California, then Louisiana, and Virginia tied with 10 each. North Carolina not on the list. So Vad Lee, what are you talking about, Willis?
see, I didn't say last year's draft now, did I?
Oh, here we go.
Did I?
Here we go.
Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
So what you're talking about, Willis, Virginia is the elite state when it comes to football talent. And then we can even go to basketball if you want, but we don't have to do that right now. All right.
Oh, you talk. Come on now.
No. We'll save it. The other what you're talking about, Willis, man, I got to say, I listen to other fans' podcasts. I listen to the Troy boys trying to get ready, get my mind right around this Troy team, just to learn a little bit about them from the fan perspective. And man, I got to tell you, man, the Troy boys on their podcast were so disrespectful of JMU fans. Like, they just think our fans are just absolutely horrible. And maybe they think that because we pack our stadium. And when you look at a Troy football game, their stadium's half empty. Maybe that's what they're just like, those horrible fans showing up and supporting their team because they don't have that down in Troy, Alabama. But I just, they were so disrespectful of our fans. And they were also they think that, and maybe rightfully so, that we as a fan base are upset and we're blaming the Sunbelt for us not getting more consideration in the college football playoff.
You're daggone right.
You daggone right.
You daggone right.
Yeah, the Sun Belt has not held up. Teams if you look at the West, Louisiana was supposed to be a wagon this year, right? Texas State was supposed to be a wagon, and they were not, right? And Troy, you guys had an opportunity to play an American Conference team in Memphis, and you got boat raced. If you guys show up in a game like that, maybe the Sun Belt does get that playoff appearance. And so, for the Troy boys to come at our fan base like that, I can't do it, bro. So what you talking about, Willis, Troy boys?
Get them.
Yeah. Anyway, now I got to take it to the house, man. Now my blood pressure is all up talking about the Troy boys and denigrating our fan base. That, let's go ahead and take it to the house. And
let's do it.
There's a phrase we hear all the time. Control what you can control. Simple words, but hard to live by. In life, most people spend energy on everything outside their control. The opinions, the politics, the unfair decisions, the noise. And what happens? You lose focus. You lose clarity. You lose the edge that makes you who you are. But when you lock in on the things you can control, your preparation, your effort, your attitude, your discipline, something powerful happens. You stop reacting and you start responding. You stop drifting and you start driving. You stop complaining and you start competing. You don't get distracted by the things you can't change because you're too busy mastering the things you can. And that's the fork in the road right now for this JMU football team. All week long, all season long, we've heard the outside noise, the rankings, the playoff chatter. Why aren't they in? The committee is biased against us. Strength of schedule this, strength of record that, blah, blah, blah. And trust me, if you're frustrated, the team feels it too, because they're human. I mean, for the first time this week, I heard a player actually mention the committee in an interview after the Coastal game. But here's the truth. The Dukes cannot control the college football playoff committee. They can't control the media narratives, the message boards, or Twitter storms. They can't force anyone, not even the Troy boys, to give them the respect they've earned. But what they can control is what happens Friday night in the Sunbelt Championship game. They can control the preparation. They can control the execution, the physicality, the focus, and the standard they've built. They can control how many times the Trojans have to pick themselves up from that cold, hard Zane Shoker field. And if they handle their business, if they play JMU football for all 4 quarters, the noise won't matter. The rankings won't matter. The committee won't matter. The only thing that will matter is that the JMU Dukes, for the first time as an FBS program, can say, we are champions. Now let's talk to the fans, because we're part of this too. Listen, we can't control what Coach Chesney decides. Coaches move, coaches stay, coaches weigh offers, coaches chase opportunities. We also can't control which players enter the transfer portal this offseason. That's the business of college football, and I know it sucks, but it's the business. But here's what we can control, JMU Nation. We can control how we show up. We can control packing that stadium in the freezing cold, making Bridgeforth sound like a jet engine, and reminding this team and this coaching staff and the country that regardless of what happens next week, next month, or next year, JMU Nation shows up every single time. So as we head into Friday night, let's control what we control. I'm confident the team will do their part. So let's do ours and help this team take it to the house in Bridgeforth one more time this season.
Woo!
That I'm fired up, bro.
Let's go.
Let's go.
There is nothing like Friday night lights.
Friday night lights.
Man, Friday night lights in college at JMU is gonna simply be amazing. So thank you, bro. That was great.
Man.
Take us to the house.
So excited to see everybody at JMU on Friday night. Let's go Dukes.
Go Dukes and go Duke.